Time's expired, Senator Conroy. Time's expired. Senator Milne.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is the Minister for Broadband, Communications and the Digital Economy, Senator Conroy. Minister, in the context of media reform and the concentration of media ownership, is the Minister aware that Channel 10 has contracted out the television program Meet the Press to News Limited so that the show is produced out of News Fox Studios? It's news which hires the staff and invites the guests. And if so, is the Minister concerned about News Limited exercising its influence over a TV station through the back door?
The Minister for Broadband, Communications and the Digital Economy, Senator Conroy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could I thank Senator Milne for her question? I am aware of the recent changes that have been announced by Channel 10. I'm also aware, I believe you've referred the matter, I think from your press conference. I saw reports you'd referred the matter for the ACMA to look at. But, Mr. President, the reason that the outsourcing is possible is that those opposite, when they last had a majority control of the Senate, changed the rules so that a TV station could outsource its news and current affairs. So those opposite introduced an amendment which had the numbers to pass through. We are in the process of considering the reports from Mr Finkelstein and the Convergence Review, and we are in a situation where the government will finalise its consideration in the not too distant future, which will consider a whole range of issues across this portfolio area. Mr. President, I'm not going to preempt the Cabinet, I'm not going to preempt the caucus by announcing any outcomes to those, but we are considering all of these matters, and if the senator is aware of any breaches of existing rules or laws, they should, as they have done, refer them. But at this stage we will not be preempting on the floor of the Senate Cabinet considerations.
Senator Milne.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, does the minister share ACMA's view that Mr Lachlan Murdoch is in no position to exert influence over the business dealings of Rupert Murdoch, even though Lachlan Murdoch is the director of News Corp?
The Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr. Lachlan Murdoch. The ACMA have opined on, do not believe that he is in breach of any of the existing laws. If the senator believes otherwise, she should take this matter up very seriously, but I'm not aware of any suggestion that that is the case. As to whether or not he's influencing Channel 10, clearly, as chair, he has a role to play. But in terms of the combined interests, if the senator believes that there is any matter that needs to be looked at, she should refer it to the proper authorities.
Senator Milne.
Thank you, Minister. But given that you've just pointed out yourself that this is a loophole that was created by the coalition, is the government going to move in this debate on media reform? Are you going to move unequivocally to close this loophole and make sure that we can't have a situation where a
Just wait a minute, Senator Milne. Order. Order. I'm entitled to hear the question. I can't, with either side of me here, interfering with the questioner. Order. Senator Milne, continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will the minister give the Senate an unequivocal answer in terms of the government moving to deal with this loophole in the cross-media ownership laws such that we prevent people exercising more influence in the 2 out of 3 rule, let alone a 2 out of 4 rule?
Time's expired. The Minister.
Thank you. Mr. President, the Convergence Review recommended revised media ownership arrangements at the local and national level to ensure that they remain targeted and effective in a converged media environment. A revised minimum number of owners rule to capture all media operators that have an influence in a local market, a national public interest test that would apply to transactions involving large media enterprises. And the committee also recommended that these measures include some major media operators like national newspapers and subscription television providers. Mr. President, the government is giving careful consideration to the review's recommendations, and as I have previously stated, the government will bring forward a package of further measures to deal with, amongst other things, issues associated with a public interest test. But I am not going to preempt the consideration of Cabinet. I am not going to preempt the consideration of my caucus colleagues by opining on the floor of the Senate.
Time's expired. Senator Billock.
Thank you, Mr President.